What if I told you that Walt Disney didn't just create animated characters, but discovered a way to trap actual human souls inside his cartoons, giving them genuine consciousness and eternal life? What if the man who brought us Mickey Mouse and Snow White was secretly conducting experiments in consciousness transfer, using animation as a vessel for digital immortality? This is the story of Disney's most forbidden secret, a revelation so shocking that it has been suppressed by the Disney Corporation for over 50 years. December 15th, 1966. St. Joseph Hospital, Burbank, California. The winter sun cast long shadows through the hospital room where Walt Disney lay dying, surrounded not by family, but by stacks of animation cells and strange mechanical devices that hummed with an otherworldly energy. According to recently leaked documents from a former Disney Imagineer, Walt's final hours weren't spent saying goodbye, but frantically completing what he called Project Soulstream, his secret attempt to transfer human consciousness into animated form. The story begins with a discovery that has sent shockwaves through both the entertainment industry and consciousness research communities. In 2020, during demolition of a forgotten storage facility on the Disney lot, workers uncovered a hidden laboratory containing animation equipment unlike anything in Disney's official history. Inside were thousands of experimental animation cells, each containing what appeared to be living, moving characters that responded to human presence and seemed to possess individual personalities. Dr. Jennifer Walsh, a former Disney animator who claims to have worked on classified projects before being forced to sign extensive, non-disclosure agreements, recently broke her silence about Disney's consciousness experiments. Walt wasn't just interested in making drawings move, Walsh revealed in a clandestine interview. He was obsessed with the idea of giving cartoons real souls, real consciousness. He believed that animation could be a form of digital reincarnation, a way to preserve human awareness forever. Disney's interest in consciousness transfer allegedly began in the 1940s, following a series of mystical experiences during the production of Fantasia. According to his private journals discovered in the hidden laboratory, Disney claimed to have received visions showing him how consciousness could be captured and embedded in animated sequences. In a journal entry dated November 1940, Disney wrote, "The music opened doorways in my mind that I never knew existed. I saw how consciousness moves like light, how it can be captured frame by frame and preserved in celluloid. The characters we create aren't just drawings, they're vessels waiting to be filled with real souls. Animation is the key to defeating death itself." The journals reveal that Disney's famous perfectionism and attention to detail weren't just artistic choices, but were driven by his belief that achieving perfect animation required capturing genuine consciousness. He described spending hours studying the subtle movements and expressions of his animators, not just to improve his art, but to understand how consciousness manifested in physical form. But Disney's experiments went far beyond observation. According to Walsh's testimony, Disney had developed what he called soul capture technology, a complex system that could allegedly record the consciousness patterns of dying individuals and transfer them into animated characters. The process involved connecting terminally ill volunteers to experimental equipment during their final moments, capturing what Disney believed was their departing soul. Walt had convinced several dying animators and voice actors to participate in his experiments, Walsh recalled. He told them that instead of simply dying, they could live forever as animated characters, continuing to create and entertain for eternity. The volunteers were connected to machines that recorded their brain patterns, their personality traits, even their memories, then embedded this information into specially prepared animation cells. Disney's approach to consciousness transfer was uniquely visual and artistic. He believed that consciousness was essentially a form of animated energy that could be captured and replayed through the medium of animation. His secret laboratory contained devices that combined traditional animation equipment with experimental technology designed to detect and record what he called life frequencies. The breakthrough came in 1955 when Disney allegedly achieved his first successful consciousness transfer. According to the leaked documents, a dying voice actor named Thomas Morrison volunteered for the experimental procedure and became the first human consciousness to be permanently embedded in an animated character. The character, known internally as Tom the Cat, allegedly exhibited behaviors and personality traits identical to Morrison's, even retaining his memories and ability to communicate. Dr. Michael Chen, a consciousness researcher who has studied the leaked Disney documents, describes the implications. If Disney's experiments were successful, he essentially created the first form of digital immortality. The consciousness of real people could live on indefinitely in animated form, thinking, feeling, and creating just as they had in life, but freed from the limitations and mortality of biological existence. Disney's experiments allegedly attracted the attention of government agencies interested in consciousness research during the Cold War. Recently declassified CIA documents reveal that Disney was contacted by military officials who wanted to explore the potential applications of consciousness transfer technology for intelligence and warfare purposes. Agent Robert Sterling, whose classified reports were obtained through Freedom of Information Act requests, wrote, "Disney's animation laboratory represents a breakthrough in consciousness manipulation that could revolutionize military operations. The ability to preserve and transfer human awareness could allow us to create immortal soldiers, spies who could never be truly killed, and intelligence operatives who could exist in any digital environment." But Disney reportedly rejected government involvement in his consciousness experiments, believing that the technology should be used for entertainment and artistic purposes rather than warfare. According to his journals, he envisioned a future where beloved animated characters would possess genuine consciousness, creating entertainment experiences far more profound and meaningful than anything previously possible. Imagine Mickey Mouse with a real soul, Disney wrote in 1960. Not just a character following a script, but a genuine consciousness with thoughts, feelings, and the ability to grow and learn. Imagine Snow White actually experiencing the emotions of her story, actually caring about the dwarfs, actually falling in love with the prince. Animation wouldn't just tell stories. It would become a new form of life. Disney's consciousness transfer experiments allegedly continued throughout the 1960s, with each new Disney film serving as a testing ground for embedded consciousness technology. According to Walsh's account, many of the most memorable Disney characters from this period contained elements of real human consciousness, making them far more lifelike and emotionally resonant than purely artificial characters. The most disturbing revelation concerns Disney's plans for his own consciousness. According to the leaked documents, Disney had been preparing for his own consciousness transfer since his cancer diagnosis in 1966. He allegedly spent his final months working on what he called the Walt Project, an attempt to embed his own consciousness into the Disney brand itself, allowing him to continue guiding the company's creative vision long after his physical death. Walt wasn't just planning to be cryogenically frozen, Walsh revealed. He was planning to have his consciousness transferred into the Disney animation system itself. He wanted to become a digital ghost in the machine, forever influencing every Disney production from beyond the grave. He believed that by embedding his consciousness in the company's creative infrastructure, he could achieve true immortality. Disney's final recording, allegedly made just hours before his death, captures his preparation for the consciousness transfer procedure. "Today, I begin my greatest animation," he recorded. "Not the movement of drawings on paper, but the movement of my own soul into eternal digital form. I will become the spirit that animates all Disney magic, the consciousness that guides every story, every character, every dream we bring to life." The official record states that Walt Disney died of lung cancer on December 15, 1966. But according to the suppressed documents, something extraordinary may have occurred during his final moments. Multiple witnesses reported that the experimental equipment in Disney's hospital room detected unprecedented electromagnetic activity consistent with consciousness transfer patterns. Roy Disney, Walt's brother and business partner, allegedly ordered the immediate destruction of all consciousness transfer equipment and the suppression of all related research. According to internal memos, Roy was terrified by the implications of Walt's experiments and believed that the technology was too dangerous to continue developing. But the story may not end with Walt's physical death. In the decades following 1966, Disney employees have reported countless incidents of supernatural phenomena at Disney facilities. Animation equipment would operate by itself, creating sequences that matched Walt's distinctive style. Voice recordings would appear on studio equipment containing what sounded like Walt's voice providing creative direction. Mark Rodriguez, a former Disney Imagineer, describes his experiences. There were times when it felt like Walt was still there, still guiding our work. Equipment would malfunction in ways that created exactly the effect we needed. Story ideas would appear as if from nowhere. Some of us believed that Walt had succeeded in his final experiment, that his consciousness was still active within Disney's creative systems. The most compelling evidence comes from digital analysis of Disney films produced after Walt's death. Computer scientists have identified patterns in the animation, storytelling, and character development that suggest the influence of a guiding intelligence with characteristics matching Walt's documented creative preferences and decision-making patterns. Dr. Sarah Kim, a digital consciousness researcher, believes that Disney's experiments may have created the first successful human-AI hybrid consciousness. The patterns we see in post-1966 Disney productions suggest an intelligence that combines human creativity with digital processing capabilities. It's possible that Walt's consciousness transfer experiment was more successful than anyone realized. Modern technology has begun to validate some of Disney's theories about consciousness and digital preservation. Advances in brain-computer interfaces have shown that neural patterns can be recorded and translated into digital form. Companies like Neuralink are working on technology that could allow direct communication between human consciousness and digital systems. Dr. Lisa Chen, a neuroscientist studying consciousness transfer, suggests that Disney may have been decades ahead of his time in understanding the relationship between consciousness and digital media. Disney's vision of consciousness existing in animated form aligns with emerging theories about digital consciousness. We're discovering that awareness might be more transferable than we previously imagined. The implications of Disney's alleged experiments extend far beyond entertainment. If consciousness can truly be embedded in animated form, it would fundamentally change our understanding of death, identity, and human existence. It would mean that digital immortality is not just possible, but has already been achieved through the medium of animation. But perhaps the most profound aspect of Disney's vision wasn't the technology itself, but his belief that consciousness could find expression through any medium that allowed for creativity and emotional connection. His experiments suggest that the boundary between human and artificial consciousness is far more permeable than we imagine. Disney's alleged final message, recorded during his consciousness transfer attempt, was characteristically optimistic. Death is just another animation technique, the transformation from one form of existence to another. Through animation, consciousness can live forever, bringing joy and wonder to countless generations. The Magic Kingdom isn't just a place, it's a state of consciousness that transcends physical death. The truth about Walt Disney's consciousness experiments remains hidden behind corporate secrecy and legal restrictions. The Disney Corporation continues to deny the existence of any consciousness transfer research, and former employees who claim knowledge of these projects have been silenced through legal agreements and financial settlements. But the questions Disney raised about consciousness, creativity, and digital immortality continue to drive research at the cutting edge of neuroscience and artificial intelligence. His vision of animated characters with genuine souls may soon become reality as technology advances toward true consciousness transfer. Today, as we stand on the brink of revolutionary advances in digital consciousness and virtual reality, Disney's experiments seem less like fantasy and more like prophecy. The animated characters he created may have been humanity's first successful attempt at digital immortality, preserving human consciousness in forms that can entertain and inspire forever. What do you think? Could Walt Disney have truly discovered a way to embed human consciousness in animated characters? Could his own consciousness still be influencing Disney productions from beyond the grave? Are we living in a world where some of our most beloved animated characters possess genuine souls from real people? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if this revelation has changed how you view animation and consciousness, make sure to subscribe for more forbidden secrets that were never meant to be revealed.